till I reach the top somehow.
Okay, you hear that theme song? You see the hour, then you know it's time for me to welcome you to another edition of Straight Talk and to bid you good night, St. Kitts and Nevis, and bid good night to the entire Caribbean region. And for those on the World Wide Web, those in the Kittitian and Nevision diaspora, I say greetings to all who are logged on to my Facebook page at Straight Talk with Ian Patches Liburd, and my family. You are also there with me and can access me via my YouTube page as well. For those of you who are joining me for the first time, Straight Talk is a public service program that facilitates and promotes free expression on all issues of national interest, be they legal, be they environmental, be they technological, social, economic, and or political issues. On Straight Talk, we do have a forum to express yourselves freely, and as well you can access us. I can also remind you, live on Voice of the Caribbean Radio and its Facebook page. So we are expanding the forum or fora for you, my Straight Talk family. Now, if you're joining me for the first time, I want to also inform you that Straight Talk is a participative program. By that I mean we include your calls, we include your emails, and if you get your pen, get your notebooks, the numbers are 1-869-663-6672. That's the local number, 663-6672. We are using these numbers exclusively as of the last couple of days. For those in the diaspora, you can also contact the program via 646-829-6672. And of course, there are many of you who like the cloak of anonymity, so we provide you access via our email platform. That's zizstraighttalk@gmail.com. And my Straight Talk family, here on this program, as I said, is a public service program. You don't find nigger business on Straight Talk, because we try to raise the level of national discourse. We try to raise the level of our debate, and we make it educational. We alert our people to their rights, to their responsibilities, and of course to their obligations. My name is Ian Patches Liburd, and I thank Almighty God for blessing me with yet another opportunity to join you in conversation, my Straight Talk family, on yet another occasion. Yes, so again, you can access the program by the Ian Patches Liburd Facebook page. That's Straight Talk with Ian Patches Liburd. Go to Facebook, go to YouTube. And we also have a new partner in the Voice of the Caribbean Radio, and its Facebook page is also accessible to us, my Straight Talk family. I usually, as a public service, give you an update as well as it relates to our COVID situation, and I can inform you that things are still looking good in St. Kitts and Nevis. As a matter of fact, the latest situation report as of today, Thursday, the 31st of March, there are no confirmed cases, none at all. And remember, as of the 1st of April, as of tomorrow, you can enter the Federation, but you have at first you surrender a COVID test. And as of tomorrow, they are accepting the antigen test, that's a rapid test, as most people call it. Our vaccination rate is still looking good as well. It's moving up slowly to 83% of the first dosers, 82.9% to be exact, and 78% of the second doses, 77.8%. I just put it to the nearest. And normally in this program as well, at this time, we have our observations in review. And it's the time of the program when we do some reflection. We try to establish what was accomplished, how it has helped others, what has changed since, what can be expected next, and what new have we learned as a people. And I know that we are following the issues at home, the political issues to be exact. And Straight Talk continues to follow the political developments in St. Kitts and Nevis and attempts by other leaders in the Team Unity Coalition to brand PLP as the weakest link in the coalition. And you heard lots of talk about the dominating party in that particular coalition. But these leaders, I believe, they ignore the reality that if one part of Team Unity is weak, it endangers the integrity, the quality, or the effectiveness of the whole concept of unity. The trust among the Team Unity members was broken, as you can see and hear from the public ramblings. The trust among the Team Unity members, I submit though, was broken before the appointment of the very first Team Unity cabinet. It was broken before its very first meeting in 2015. Although many refer to the insidious attempt to undermine the PLP leader and Prime Minister right after the last elections in 2020. But ask yourselves, why only the Deputy Prime Minister Sean Richards, before he was appointed deputy at the time, attended the swearing-in ceremony of the Prime Minister that Sunday morning following the 2020 elections? Ask yourselves as well, why the Attorney General Vincent Juicy Byron was not sworn in that same time. This representative, who won his first election in 2015, shocked everyone in the room at our first meeting. He shocked everyone in the room at our first meeting when he demanded the portfolio, I should say, that has responsibility for the Citizenship by Investment program. And in recent times, you hear all sorts of requests moving forward for the Prime Minister to surrender the Ministry of Finance, for the Prime Minister to surrender the Ministry of Sustainable Development, and for the Prime Minister to surrender literally all his portfolios. But when this particular member demanded the portfolio that dealt with the Citizenship by Investment program, everyone in the room was shocked. But every single member or elected member disagreed with such an appointment, mainly because the law firm of this particular member was a CBI listed service provider, and perhaps still is. He angrily shouted, "Then I will be a backbencher." As he was packing his briefcase to leave the room, and he was sitting next to me, I said to him quietly, with my usual smile, calling his name. And I said to him, in our parliament, there is no such thing as a backbencher. You either sit on the government benches or you sit on the opposition benches. So make up your mind. Straight Talk has advanced this observation tonight because the CBI has come under an extraordinary focus, and there are some who would like us to believe that the issues being currently raised stems from the Team Unity leader and Prime Minister, who is trying to serve a third term when he already addressed that matter for the whole world to hear. And I'm sure we all remember when the Prime Minister addressed that matter as it relates to a third term for the Prime Minister. And that is nothing secret.
The question of pushing for a third term, I'm not sure why this is even in a conversation. We have just come out of an election. We are still working our way through the pandemic. And every person involved in decision making ought to be focused on one thing at this point in time: the future of our people, keeping them safe, keeping them strong, putting the country back to work again so our farmers can earn more, our fisher folks can live and feed their family. That is what our attention should be on. Elections are not due till 2025. I don't even know what will happen tomorrow, even tonight. And we are focused on a political agenda when the focus really should be on the people. And my view on that had been made abundantly clear time and time again. Time and time again. And I've never said anything contrary to what the statements have made publicly. So there is no need for a conversation about third term. I have never spoken on a third term. There's no record anywhere about Timothy Harris speaking on a third term. And I therefore will have nothing to say about it, because I am concerned about utilizing the opportunity that God has given me for such a time like these to lead us safely and properly for such a time like these. And so I'm not caught up with that. Other persons are free to express their view on that. My view has been spoken, and I have not altered that view. Have not.
And that's clear for the world to hear, that Prime Minister Harris has said on more than one occasion his focus is on the people. Imagine, we are just recovering from a pandemic. We are faced with socio-economic fallout deriving from the ongoing Russian invasion of Ukraine. But people are not concerned, or politicians are not concerned about the people. Additionally, many persons keep calling me and continue to ask me about several issues pertaining to Team Unity. And I am happy that lately we have been encouraged to ask questions. And there is a commitment to provide answers. And I trust and hope we'll all keep that commitment.
I want you to ask your questions for us to answer them. That is what we are doing. We are going around the entire country to feel the beat, feel the temperature of the people. Let them ask the questions and we deliver for you the answer. But one thing you can rest assured about, we are going to answer you truthfully. Sometimes the truth hurts, but we are going to answer you truthfully. Truthfully.
Yes, that's a commitment to answer the questions truthfully. And that to me is a good sign. And yes, sometimes the truth hurts, but truth has always been the watchword of straight talk, or watchword for straight talk. I have always implored you to speak the truth, but be prepared to stand alone. And I have stood alone on many occasions, and I am going to be prepared always to stand alone, because I will always speak the truth. The people are the dominant force in the concept of unity, not the political parties. And as this current episode unravels, Straight Talk will continue to provide the facts, the truth. And when this chapter in our political history is written, it will be flavored with accuracy and reliability. Politics, it is said, has its own morality, but I submit here and now that as we try to find a resolution to the issues being debated in the public domain in St. Kitts and Nevis, just remember that unity as a team will only be strong as its weakest member. Again, I'll repeat that. Unity as a team will only be strong as its weakest member. This is our observation and review for tonight, and Straight Talk will keep you posted on this stench of distrust and other stories as they develop in the Federation. For now, I intend to focus on what I call the dereliction of duty, as many people with whom I have spoken recently have all expressed their disappointment with the ongoing drama and political posturing in St. Kitts and Nevis. They have gone to the extent to accuse the Deputy Prime Minister of a dereliction of duty and has questioned the wisdom and timing of his actions, especially when the Federation is still recovering from the shock of COVID-19 and facing a definite socio-economic fallout from the war being fought in Ukraine. Sea trade is being disrupted, and that will negatively impact the land distribution of food because the supply chain is indelibly linked by land, by sea, and by air. Why are these leaders trying to destabilize the country and the government in which the people elected them to serve? Why is the question we ask my Straight Talk family. Why are they trying to destabilize the country and the government in which the people elected them to serve? Now, this is a question that is being posed by right-thinking citizens of the Federation. Lo and behold, the Deputy Prime Minister Richards yesterday revealed on regional media that for 2 months he has not attended meetings of cabinet. For 2 months he has not attended meetings of the cabinet.
Of my knowledge, because I personally have not been to cabinet in about 2 months now, but that is a totally different issue. It is a principal position as to why I have not been attending cabinet, and perhaps it will take a totally different issue and interview to go through that particular issue. It is something I, to date, for different reasons, I have not discussed within the public domain, because I have had some meetings in which I have basically agreed to a particular resolution on this matter. Unfortunately, the matter hasn't been resolved, and so I have not been going to cabinet.
You've been out of cabinet for the last 2 months in some sort of a protest. It's a protest action.
Yes, I have been.
Okay.
Yes, as intimated by the Deputy Prime Minister, he has been out of cabinet for the last 2 months. Deputy Prime Minister Richards also disclosed in that interview on the narrative with Callistra Faria that his absence from the cabinet is not related to the concerns being raised publicly, and that's the concerns with the Prime Minister that has been raised publicly. He said that is entirely different, or he has been absent from cabinet because of an entirely different reason, an unrelated reason, if I can put it that way, my Straight Talk family.
Barrage of concerns that the coalition has with the Prime Minister.
I wouldn't say that it is related to the barrage of concerns that the coalition currently has with the Prime Minister, but it is a matter that I stand on a principle relative to. It is a matter which involves my name. It is a matter which involves matter. I have said that the only person who really can defend my name is myself. And until I feel like my name has been cleared with a particular issue, that is the stance that I have taken.
Well, my Straight Talk family, I must admit, though, that the charge of dereliction of duty is a serious and damaging one. The charge about the dereliction of duty is a serious and damaging one that could lead to subsequent dismissal by the electorate. Now, that opinion has derived from what is obvious and intentional and or conscious failure to do his duty. The Deputy Prime Minister has confessed that for the past 2 months, he has willfully abandoned his collective seat of executive power, and this violates the St. Kitts Nevis Constitution that establishes a government composed of 3 branches: the legislative, the judicial, and the executive. So that is the view, that he has willfully abandoned his collective seat of executive power. After all, a cabinet meeting is so critical to the functioning of our government, and it's one of the rare occasions that the entire cabinet is in the same place at the same time. Furthermore, the Constitution mandates under Section 53, subsection 1, that there shall be for St. Christopher and Nevis a cabinet of ministers, which shall consist of the Prime Minister and the other ministers. The Constitution as well outlines the functions of the cabinet. Moreover, like all other ministries, the Deputy Prime Minister, although he stumbled, he took an oath of office, and in the process clearly affirmed his allegiance and loyalty to the Constitution. All ministers of government affirm their allegiance and their loyalty to the Constitution, and the Deputy Prime Minister was no exception.
Swear
that I will honor, uphold, and preserve the Constitution of St. Christopher and Nevis.
The Constitution of St. Christopher and Nevis.
Say that again. I'll take that bit again. Sorry. That I will honor,
that I will honor,
uphold,
and preserve
the Constitution of St. Christopher and Nevis,
the Constitution of St. Christopher and Nevis,
and the law,
that I will
conscientiously, impartially,
and
to the best of my ability, discharge my duties as Deputy Prime Minister, and do right to all manner of people, without fear or favor, affection or ill will. Thank you.
So help me God.
I, Sean Kenneth Richards,
do
swear
that
I will honor,
uphold,
and preserve the Constitution of St. Christopher and Nevis,
the Constitution of St. Christopher and Nevis.
Say that again. I'll take that bit again. Sorry. That I will honor,
uphold,
and preserve
the
Constitution of St. Christopher and Nevis,
the Constitution of St. Christopher and Nevis,
and the law, that I will conscientiously, impartially, and to the best of my ability, discharge my duties as Deputy Prime Minister, and do right to all manner of people, without fear or favor, affection or ill will. Thank you.
So help me God.
A Straight Talk family, we ask ourselves, is the Constitution and the law being upheld? If so, why has the Deputy Prime Minister not gone to the Cabinet for the last 2 months? Is that a good example being set by someone who is aspiring to lead our federation? These are some of the questions we must ask ourselves tonight at Straight Talk family. And as I said before, I'm happy that a member of the cabinet, the very cabinet, committed to responding to the questions truthfully, invited everyone to ask their questions, and committed to responding truthfully to those questions. My Straight Talk family, these are some of the questions we will ask as well.
I want you to ask your questions for us to answer them. That is what we are doing. We are going around the entire country to feel the beat, feel the temperature of the people. Let them ask the questions and we deliver for you the answer. But one thing you can rest assured about, we are going to answer you truthfully. Sometimes the truth hurts, but we are going to answer you truthfully. Truthfully.
Sometimes the truth hurts, but there's a commitment to answer us truthfully. So we're asking the questions, and you can ask your questions as well. Should the people detest this dereliction of duty? Why has the Deputy Prime Minister not gone to the Cabinet for the last 2 months? Is this a good example being set by someone who is aspiring to lead our federation? Is the Deputy Prime Minister's no-show in Cabinet related to the criminal charges brought by the police against his party Deputy Leader Lindsey Grant? These are just some of the questions, but on Straight Talk, we discuss the truth. My Straight Talk family, that is my story tonight, and I am not going to change it. But I'll open the lines and entertain your calls and your emails. It's 8:33. Time for me to hear from you. When I do so in a few seconds, I anticipate that you will respect others, and of course, to achieve that, you must first respect yourselves. Let us try to be fair to all concerned. Let us try to build goodwill and better friendships. Let us ensure that the things we say and or do will be beneficial to all concerned. And in the process of saying and doing those things, let us strive to build a kinder, gentler St. Kitts and Nevis. Remember the numbers again. If you're calling locally, it is 663-6672. If you're calling from overseas, then the number is 646-829-6672. I'll repeat these numbers. They're new, I know, but they are exclusive numbers just for you. 663-6672 and or 646-829-6672. They both end with 6672, so that's very easy to remember. 663-6672 and or 646-829-6672. Let us go to the lines and say, good night, caller, you are live. Hello, caller.
Good night.
Yes, good night.
And how are you?
I am peaceful.
Let me turn off my TV. Where's the control? Yes, I would like to know. Sean is saying that he's not going to the meeting because of the conflict with him that he wanted straightened out. But what happened? How come he's not getting it straightened out? Everybody, there should be papers, figures, and things to say who take this money. So why he going to abandon the meeting for just cause when he can figure out who it is take this money? I'm very sorry for this organization because I tell you, we had such a peaceful thing in 2015, and now we are here reaching to this. I can't understand it. I just can't understand it. I would like to see this year figure out. Some mediator have to between them, those all three of them, to get this work out. I will appreciate that this happened because I labor again. No, no, no. Good night, Ian, and have a very peaceful night. Bye.
Have a good night as well, my Straight Talk family. Let's go to the lines. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller. How are you, sir? How are your namesake? I am peaceful.
It look bad for us to got to go back to the poll before 2025. Because then the people of St. Kitts and Nevis don't be looking like a bunch of fools. Going back to the poll to elect a government again, and we just elect a government in 2020. So I'm saying these three young men need to sit down and get them things sorted out. If the problem is Mr. Harris, they need to reconcile and let's get this party, unity party going, because we, the people of St. Kitts, went out and voted twice for a unity party to run this country because we realize the damage being done when you have one party in power. That's the Labour Party. And we are saying we don't want to have the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. Don't want to have that again. We know one party running the country. Otherwise, we're going to end up in chaos. No matter about it. It is so. Because if they're going to mess with the boundaries, that's going to create chaos in the country.
Can I ask a question, Harvey?
Yes, go ahead.
Do you believe that this is reconcilable at this stage?
Yes, it is.
It is? Okay.
Yes, because if the two young men read the Bible, they will understand about forgiveness and repentance.
Okay.
So they got to start there. Read the Bible, and then you'll understand about repentance and forgiveness. And if they can't forgive each other, that means they need to resign and go find some other work to do.
Okay.
And I'm very serious about this. This is our country. Belongs to the people, not no politicians. We elect them to do a job, and if they can't do it properly, and if they can't reconcile, then they need to resign and go home. God bless you. Have a good night.
God bless you. Let's go back to the lines. Caller, you're live. Thank you for holding. Hello, caller.
Thank you, Mr. Patches. With due respect, I am not a lost scholar, but the way the Deputy Prime Minister is behaving, that is unacceptable. I am going by ethics, moral obligation, and in the Constitution. When a person become a lawyer, I'm not saying he's a lawyer, you got to separate your emotion from the fact and what you assign to and affirm to. Doing something different is unacceptable. So whatever reason he has or had or still have not to be in a place where he's supposed to be, again, it is unacceptable. Deputy Premier Prime Minister, you are wrong. You are wrong. Rethink that mistake that you made. Move on to the next one. The situation with elections, as I said, and I will affirm again, I think every individual candidate who are selected by the people to represent them in whatever area we are in constituencies, there should be a fresh breed to do this thing. Everybody voting somebody new to represent their constituency, because this is a problem. This is an explosion right now. The situation is corrupt. The situation is not good. All these confusion, we don't want to hear that. We want to hear the country going good to the fact that it should be going good. Cut out all these personal things. Okay? We are the people, and the people is the government. The people is who created the government, not one man. These are what these people have to understand, you know. The country doesn't belong to one man. After a period of time, they're sitting in their seat, they become judge, jury, and executioner. No.
Okay.
Last but not least, I would like to know what's the update of Molyneux School. What's the progress? What is the focus right now? I am concerned about that. I am from Constituency 7. I am from Molyneux. I need to know what's going on with the children and their education moving forward. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, my dear brother. It's my understanding that the public works have already been looking at the reparation or rehabilitation works that ought to be or will be done on that particular school. Let's go back to the lines. Caller, I want to thank you for holding. You're live.
Good evening, Honorable Patrick Liburd.
Good evening, my brother.
When I heard you play those tape with those, like Kana, what with those media saying, I couldn't believe that coming from the Honorable Sean, because I have a lot of respect for Sean. I never disrespect him, he never disrespect me yet. And he all seems he have good intention in mind. I don't know if he been misled by his advisors and who around him. But it's a shame to hear what you just played here tonight. How you expect a country gonna run and you ain't going to cabinet meeting? Tell me how a country gonna run. That means you do as you like because you're being elected by the people. And you're not going to cabinet, so you do as you like. Nobody can tell you what to do. That's a no deal. You understand me? And I really shocked and surprised at the behavior of Mr. Sean. You know, but there is nothing coming back here, Patches. Nothing at all coming back. Tom can't talk to Harry can't talk to Tom, and nothing. The best thing is to do, either to walk out across the floor and let's go back to the poll. You understand me? Because when you go back, you will have a unity, but a lot of them who's in there will not be there. But you will have another unity government. Because people have wake up and see they don't want one party to run this beloved country of St. Kitts and Nevis. So you'll have a unity government. But it will not be by those who are there right now. So the better go and start campaigning as they're doing. Try to convince people with the nonsense. You know, the wrong thing that's going on at the electric light company, the wrong thing that's going on over at UDC, the wrong thing that's going on, the water department, and all those kind of things. Are you talking about you ain't going cabinet meeting? Man, come on, man. Patches, good night, I'll be back.
Thanks for your input. We go back to the lines. Caller, you are live. Hello, caller.
Patches, good night.
Yes, Mr. Politics, good night, sir.
Thank God for this federation. Thank God for that. Thank God for St. Kitts Nevis. And thank God for unity. Unity has brought me and opened up me the common sense and my knowledge towards politics. And dirty politics. How short? I mean, no patches. No, me, Jam Down, and others fight for unity. We rally for that. You understand? Harvey and all those guys and all jumping and all and different boys, and all of them. Even not lady, she not ready for unity. Culture and all of us. We want unity. But you see, Patches, you can't be Sean all the blame. Sean ain't acting up for his own. Because if Sean was acting up for his own, me, Jam Down, Alex, and Culture, and other big people who saw where it comes, will recognize after the same unity government 2015. But you always come and control by you. So, who elected? The control by the elite. And that is the problem right now. That is the problem right now. Me Jam Down, Pumping Alex, Culture, and others, and how we vocal in getting this unity together. When the election call and come getting government, they don't know us. They don't know one of us, they don't know us. Sean, we can come here, walk into bed with Mr. Harris, the Prime Minister, 2015, when they were campaigning to get to the people. And Sean thought he's going to come in here. I didn't come in here and he passed the straight went up. I don't know what game, I don't know what I got against him or nothing. But he did not speak to me. Not one of them was speaking. And he put up them when he see me something and I got the hand. I sometimes Lindsay. You understand? When help no use for the poor people in this country, when help no use for I'm not in the country. And let me tell you something, we now beg them, I'm not talking about we sit but in the Prime Minister, let me do what they want to do. Because I can do what we want to say, we want to say. Because when the campaign started ready for them, He don't be no more palm. What is it? He don't be no more palm. I'm going to humiliate them. I'm going to humiliate them, I tell you. And what they used to think to people, they have them used for the wrong confidence of people. That's how they have used to for people. A man like me who support from inconsistency number 3, do all kind of thing in number 3. Me and others, gone and the great plan. People is shutting, people complain to me. Tell me that by politics, I want me to do a man named Jet from Woolwood. He used to carry the speakers, them and pack up things in the farm. Sometimes the man, they got all them and all. To sit down, not one of them went and assisted with nothing. They have to support people. And anybody who want to talk about money, well, I want to tell them the message that tell them to come to me now. Because I feel like me with TLP. But you don't want to put it because there's some people emotional right now. And I play with them every other time. They have to support people.
Thank you very much, my dear brother. This goes straight back to the lines. Caller, you're live.
Hello.
Yes, you're live.
Patches?
My dear brother.
Okay, good. I'm here, right. Good evening, Patches.
Good evening, sir.
Thank you for those clips that you played. Because voice cannot say it is me. Handwriting, people could say, that is not my handwriting. No, I see. No, we vote for people to go into parliament to represent us. And before you go into parliament, you have to carry your issues and whatever into cabinet, and your dialogue in there. The Premier for Nevis in his press conference today, he mentioned the word dialogue. He is willing to dialogue with the Prime Minister with whatever problem they have among them. No, Sean, and it will be Sean Richard, people voted for you, like everybody else in cabinet, to go into the parliament to represent them. They did not vote for you to stay outside of cabinet for 2 months. 2 months, and collecting pay. And then you come in saying that it is whatever reason it is, not like how the people have it out on the street. Nobody want to hear that. Go in there and dialogue with the Prime Minister, whosoever you have a problem with. Remember, you hold up the Bible and say that you don't know what's going on down Port Zante with the hut. No, I see why you had to hold up the Bible, and you were right. Because you cannot know what was going on down Port Zante with the hut after you out of cabinet for 2 months. So you were right with the party. But now you come back now, after you had agreed before election 2015, who was going to be the leader of the unity concept and construct. And you got to tell me, after running into in a 26-mile marathon race, you don't run 13, and you're going to with the other 13, and all of a sudden, you're going to come and talk about leadership, this, and this is your turn. Whosoever is advising you, they are advising you wrong. And if a friend cannot advise his friend in the right way, he is no friend. When you get in there in your position as Prime Minister, the same people who shoving you and telling you push Dr. Harris, choke him with cash that he can move, they're going to be after you too. Because Brother William Manasseh can always tell us in church and Sunday school, if you send somebody to tell a lie for you, they will come back and they will tell you a lie. Remember that. Be a man. Be a representative for your constituency. That is what people expect. And if you are not treating the people right, as they are complaining, you would not have to come back and say, go out and say, come back home. When you have a dog, and the dog come in and he wants to the whole week, he goes to find food somewhere, he goes to tell me the food is.
Okay, we seem to have lost that caller. Still there, caller? This message reads, my straight up family, King This and That has a calypso in which he vehemently described Sean as a green parliamentarian and very incapable when he was in the opposition. Well, I really thought by now Sean, as Deputy Prime Minister, had transitioned from green to dry, meaning he has gained some level of maturity. But that does not appear so, because if every time he and the Prime Minister converses on sensitive, confidential and classified matters, he secretly takes the information to Dwyer and Liburd, it's quite demonstrative that he is still green and immature and incapable to lead this federation, reads that email. Remember, the numbers are 663-6672 and or 829, or take that back, 646-829-6672. And we're taking your calls. We're looking at tonight the dereliction of duty. And many who I have spoken to have expressed their disappointment with the ongoing drama and political posturing in St. Kitts and Nevis. Let's go back to the lines. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller?
Hello, is me?
Yes, you're live.
Good night, Patrice.
Good night, my dear.
I just want to say that Sean Richards needs to look before he leaves and be careful of the wish he asks for. Because he and the Prime Minister has a disagreement. He needs to go in cabinet and settle it here. Not being absent from the cabinet for someone and then glad to repeat it. He's not a mature person. He needs to solve the issue before bringing it out like that to the public. Are we going to go back to an election in just a year and a half? No, we'll be look like clowns across the whole Caribbean. No, Sean needs to come better than that and put his pettiness aside. Again, he needs to come better than that and put his pettiness aside. And we are not the laughing stock of the Caribbean. So, I am ashamed of Sean. And this is Lenten season, and he's going about saying he's feeling the pulse of the people. No, he needs to do better than that, man. Okay, thanks.
Thanks for your input. Look before you leap is the suggestion or recommendation. Let's go back to the lines. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Hello, I'm there?
Yes, you're live.
Hi. Good night, Patrice.
Good night, my dear.
Yes, all I have to tell Sean, John L. is a Herbert, and Pam Party was found by a Herbert. And he stopped there and listening to people. And sooner or later, the same Pam people are going to say he's not fit to be a leader and give John L. the leadership because Pam was found by Herbert. So he had to be careful. And as the lady just said, the caller just said, be careful for what you wish for. You'll get it. Because the grass outside, they look green, but it's not green. And what he's doing is totally wrong. They all are grown people. And whatever they have to say, go in the cabinet and say settling matters there. It sounds terrible. You understand? Whatever they want, all of them, they turn on and say PLP only have 2 seats. And they, Pam have 4, and CCN have 3, or whatever the name. So whatever is there is majority than PLP. So whatever they go to the cabinet with, there is the majority win. So what is the problem? Huh? The Labour people are laughing at them. It's sad. Everything was going good. And they come out with the dirty laundry up and down. Now they're talking about they're campaigning now, talking about they have town hall meeting. They need to go and rest themselves. They need to go and rest themselves and let God be in control. Unity. Oh, how good and pleasant it is for the brethren to dwell together in unity. Do they know what the meaning of unity? And let me tell them, unity, Timothy, unity. And thank you.
Thank you very much for your input. And for those of you who may have just joined the program, we introduce the topic as I captioned the dereliction of duty. Because many have spoken about the absence, or a matter of fact, I should say, to be correct, the Deputy Prime Minister on regional media had this to say just yesterday.
My knowledge, because I personally have not been to cabinet in about 2 months now, but that is a totally different issue. It is a principal position as to why I have not been attending cabinet, and perhaps it will take a totally different issue, interview to go through that particular issue. It is something I, to date, for different reasons, I have not discussed within the public domain, because I have had some meetings in which I have basically agreed to a particular resolution on this matter. Unfortunately, the matter hasn't been resolved, and so I have not been going to cabinet.
You've been out of cabinet for the last 2 months in some sort of a protest. It's a protest action.
Yes, I have been.
Okay. So
yes, it is.
And we understand that protest relates to the police matter with his colleague Lindsey Grant, and an apparent documentation of the statement by the police, which he has demanded it be rescinded. I don't know if cabinet can in fact instruct the police, but that's for another time, my Straight Talk family. But as we said, we're going to talk the truth, and the truth, and only the truth, can set us free. Caller, I want to thank you for holding. You're live. Hello, caller. Are you there, caller?
Good night.
Good night, my dear. How are you?
Not too bad. Thank God for my still life. You can hear me?
Yes, we're hearing you loud and clear. Sounds like
Okay.
Alice in Wonderland.
Yes, that is it. Mother, haha, what a convention. Who could beat that? Who get caught with the pants down? With all the abusing, your good Labour friend could have come to see how fat you come. That got all of them. Never mind what they do to you. You is not a sitting minister where you cannot have a program that they could know what the best prime minister doing. Mr. Liburd, the prime minister was looking for a bill. What he is too small. So please bring a big one. Big up the prime minister, none like him. Never be. And Mrs. Akila for a job well done. Harris again, going nowhere. But the ministers did want to work to get raised a pet too. They know others don't want them, but it's them they have looking out for. They're saying one thing and doing the same. Who want to vex with me for politics? That's a matter to them. 20 years was not easy. The Lord sent a helper. Why I must be ungrateful? No time. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Stop using. Thanks. Okay, I'm coming back.
Thank you very much. Sounds like Alice in Wonderland. And you may say Harris again, but others have other intentions, my Straight Talk family. Okay, I thought I had that line.
Grant again! Not Harris again, yeah. Grant again!
So yes, there are other intentions by Straight Talk, by Straight Talk family, but that's for another occasion. Let's go back to the lines. Caller, you are live. Yes, caller. Hello, caller.
Okay.
Yes, you're live. So.
That is good night. Again. I'm going to tell you something, right? Sunny Point people is not a fool. Sunny Point, a lot of scholars come out of Sunny Point. A lot of athletes come out of Sunny Point. They're not fool. And I want Sean Mitchell to ask Steve Hoyligo what happened to him. Why he get defeated. You understand? Because he is showing up the cabinet. And Steve Hoyligo defeated by whatever he did for people them. Put in Justin. And then in the next election, because then another from a conscious from the next election, they take out Justin and put in Sean. So let ask you how you go, what happened to him in constituency number 5. That's very thing today, you know. When they do what they got to do, and they want to sit down with the Prime Minister or do whatever, because can't hear that song on the place, and nobody following them, nobody going behind them. They had one young challenger. I had a neighbor tonight, and I was in a shop tonight, and I listened to them, and nobody behind them. And look who they got for them. Look who they got for them. A vagabond pastor. That is. I'm seeing on a video, let's not sort of walk up here in members, them and not do all kind of things. That's a reading back to play. A vagabond pastor.
Yeah, but let's not go
there. And then I'm a leader, but let's continue, but let's go ahead.
Let's not go there.
Oh, pastor. So you push it come, they ain't nothing. They ain't nothing such as. And they're repping them and encourage them to do what they're doing. They ain't benefit the people of this country, nothing. They're only harming the country and harming the people.
Okay.
Because our election has come for that. We elect them for that. We let them to go in and serve the people. Whether they got a different Prime Minister, they come to the constitution and they speak to us. They get to show, not to not show up in cabinet. What is that?
Okay.
They ain't doing nothing to them. I don't tell them that that's one thing to lose. They have one thing to lose.
Okay, my brother.
That's all one thing to lose, Patrick.
Got you, my brother.
That's how it's today. You come out of the government and resign our way, come out today. You go to some kind of other job because he got the skill and he got the knowledge and he got the wisdom and he could go all things and get what and do what he want to do.
Okay.
Following little board them and putting out news at the cabinet and doing little board and going to stop on them. That's when you have to tell people. That's when you have to the young man and woman in the country. Okay. To survive in this unity government. That's to the young people them. So boy, let me tell you something. Listen up, I got to get up together. I got to work together, right? We're going to take 12 feet in sinkers. 12 feet. As long as me sink it, but as long as me alone, we're going to take 12 feet. 12 feet. I think you have a wonderful night.
Have a wonderful night as well, my dear brother. I'm going to go back to the lines. Caller, thank you for holding your live.
Thank you again. I'm speaking to all listeners right now. As you all listen, as you all heard, do you all see how much problems and corruptions and disobedience, not adhering to the protocol, what it stands for? All these people, Patches, in my view, in my book, you are safe. All the others, they need to go. They need to resign. They need to be pushed aside with a bulldozer because they are no good. They are causing too much corruption, too much uncomfort. I need them to go. Let fresh, new politicians come on the market. Let people decide fear. This same old is unacceptable. We just want these people to go. All the good that has been done to the country, let's improve on that. We need new young politicians, young dynamic thinkers, leaders, as the word leaders. Okay? And the unity concept is good because I don't want no one party run this country. All parties have to come together. Whether you win, lose, you had your term. But do for the good for the people. God Almighty, look at this. It doesn't sound good. It's a stain. Unless the stain ain't washed away, this will forever be until all these people just go away. Thank you again.
Thank you for your intervention, my dear brother. We go straight back to the lines. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller. Yes, caller.
Greetings in the name of our great African ancestors, especially the most honorable Marcus Messiah God and Queen and King. Blessed evening, my beloved African brother, how are you all the family?
Peaceful, my brother. Blessed evening to you as well. How is your family?
Good man, good man. All is well, brother, with the clan, but all is not well in the Federation of St. Kitts Nevis because we have some elitists in black faces, especially those two guys out of number 4 and number 2. But let me tell them, and the minions, they cannot mash up and they will not mash up unity concept. That not gonna happen. So those two clowns could bring on the clown show. It's only for time. Beloved, are you all for unity? For those two guys, man. Anytime election is called, they will never see the National Assembly again. Because the people in constituency 2 and 4 are more intelligent and they see that they are up to no good politically. And let me say to Brother Sean Richard, Brother Richard, I am very, very, very disappointed. You, my beloved brother, very disappointed. And I hope you wake up before it's not too late, beloved. Before it's not too late. How come Brother Hamilton? I didn't hear nothing from Brother Hamilton, no negative things. Correct me if I'm wrong. So Brother Sean, wake up, because like someone said, them two guys, it's nobody, them two guys can never become no prime minister in St. Kitts Nevis. No time. So Brother Sean, wake up and show the people you got leadership skills. Put those two guys in their places if you are not part of the elitists and the little cabal that they have in the People's Action Movement, because there's one. So Brother Richards, I hope you come to your senses, do the right thing, and what the people sent you there to do from number 5. People in number 5. I don't speak for them, but I'm just saying, beloved, they need you, they demand you to do the right thing. And the right thing is to keep this unity concept in order, moving forward, and stop the damn foolishness, my brother. Stop it, man. And put those two guys in their places and sit down with Dr. Harris. Sit down with Brother Mark Brantley. I spoke to Brother Mark Brantley last night. And I know Mark Brantley ain't in no foolishness with none of you. Because Brother Mark Brantley, he loved the Federation. He loved Nevis, brother. And he loved people and he want to see Federation move forward without all of this foolishness. It's just two guys. It's causing all of this, man. And these two guys, people of number 2 and number 4, next election, just get rid of them politically. Because they think they got this elitist thing inside of them. And let me tell them, I supported the People's Action Movement since I was 10 years old. For 52 long years. When at the time, it was like a death sentence politically in St. Kitts Nevis. I mean, I was a child then. And not because I saw his uncle, the great Dr. William Valentine Hubbard, is turning over in his grave. Elder Richard Keynes is turning over his grave. And the others, beloved, and let me say something. I don't want to bring Dr. Simmons into it, right? But let me just say something. Dr. Simmons, if you are not with these guys, you need to say something, my brother. You need to say something. Don't let your reputation and the great things you have done in the past get mixed up with these two guys. You need to come out and say whether you're with them. Are you for the people of St. Kitts Nevis and you for unity? Or what, my beloved brother, Dr. Simmons? You need to say something. Okay. So, brother, and if someone else wants to speak, and let me put the foolishness aside and just move forward in unity. Because only unity can save us as African people in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. We're like talking about St. Kitts and Nevis now. And Brother Sean, wake up, my brother. Wake up, my beloved. Brother, continue to listen. Keep up the great works. And brother, you have a safe weekend. You and the entire Federation, especially my sisters and brothers over there. In number 6, I'm the Pan-African Republic of David. Brother, thanks again for hearing me. Keep up the great works. Pan-Africanism and perish. One love, my beloved brother.
One love, my brother. Thanks for your intervention as usual. I want to go back to the lines, caller. I thank you for holding. It's 15 past 9 o'clock. You're live. Yes, caller?
Hello?
Yes, you're live.
Yes, greetings, Brother Patches. Rascolungi.
Rascolungi, good evening, sir. Greetings.
Yes, my brother. I'd just like to greet everyone here in the Federation. I think it's a Nevis, Liamega and Oli, you know. In the name of African redemption and African liberation. Brother, we're at a crisis point. You asked the question, I think, to one of your callers, if this thing could be reconciled, or if it is reconcilable. And the way it looks to me is that it can be repaired as steel unity as it was constructed in 2015 or before that. So I'm saying to our people, I'm putting out a call to our people at this particular juncture in our development and moving forward. This crisis should lead us in a direction where everybody should be involved in a national dialogue in terms of how we could move forward at this particular time. Based on what is happening in the world from a geopolitical point of view, the war in Ukraine and COVID-19, you know, that took place in, you could say 2020, 2019, you know. And well, it's a very serious time. And as African people, we have to set policies that will benefit African people, not only here in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, but wherever we are on the globe. So I'm calling the African Consciousness Movement. I'm calling for a national dialogue to resolve our contradictions, because what I'm saying to you is that what is taking place in the world, we can't move forward at this particular time by this crisis that we are facing. And this is a colonial one. And, you know, some time ago I read something to you about the Westminster system. You understand? And that is what is plaguing us. We have to change the system. The problem is not the parties or in the individuals in the parties. whether it's PAM, Labour, Team Unity, CCM or NRP. We are saying, brother, we have to set a new direction based on African principles. It's as simple as that, my brother. So in this national dialogue, I want everybody to be Labour Party, the general public, come up with ideas. You know, we could share with one another and set policies in terms of moving forward with a new agenda, an African agenda. Reconstruct our culture based on African principles. We have the Liberation Manifesto. We could share it with you, the same principles of one. I'm saying, my brother, at this time, if we love this Federation of Liamiga and Old Age as African people. You know, it is time for us to stop the pulling and tugging. Come up with policies that are going to guide us in the future. What you say, my brother?
It sounds very, very interesting, your proposition. And you mentioned slightly the modalities.
Excuse me, I didn't hear you.
You vaguely mentioned the modalities, how it can be put into place. How would you really organize such a national dialogue quickly in 10 seconds?
Okay, what I will do, right? I will get a letter together and send it to all the parties, and we could set a place where this dialogue could take place. Because what I'm saying to you, we are not each other's enemy. We have a real enemy. The people who enslaved us for 400 years, the people who colonized us up to this time, that is our enemy. We are not each other's enemy. And if we set policies that is in the interest of our people, and you go against those policies, you're against our interests.
So
you're against African nationalism.
So you send a letter to all the parties, and what? Somebody would how is going to be put into place? Invite them. Who will conduct it?
The African consciousness movement. I will conduct it.
Okay.
You understand? I will set the modalities.
Okay.
I will get the letters together and send it out to all the parties, because this needs a national dialogue, my brother.
Okay.
African people is in trouble on the globe. And if we could set an example for the rest of the African world, it will be a great thing.
Okay, I got you loud and clear, my dear brother. Something to consider and consider.
So I want to end by saying what Granny said. The only solution to this pollution is African unity based on African principles moving forward, my brother. Thank you. One love.
Thank you very much, Ras Kalonji, advancing a view of convening a national dialogue, and has volunteered his own skills to put the modalities in place and get people talking. Yes, we have consultation instead of confrontation. Let us go back to the lines. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Hello.
Yes, you're live. You have your equipment on. Could you just turn it off, move away, and just speak to your telephone?
Okay, I'm back.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity. It's embarrassing to hear some of the things that we as adults and ministers, elected officials who are supposed to be serving our people have removed servanthood and in its place put in self-gratification. There's no reason for there to be the going around with the blasphemy, the rude conversations. The children in this world are watching. We're setting examples for them. And I think it's time for conscientious effort to be placed on what each person has been called and elected to do, which is to serve the people, remove self, put people first and focus on advancement of the people. Otherwise, we're not going to get anywhere, and we're going to be going in a regressive cycle.
Are you there, caller? Are you there, caller?
Hello?
Are you there? Yeah, okay.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So how would you the caller before you spoke to convening the national dialogue? Is that something you'll support?
Well, I mean, you're talking about the government that is in place. I mean, we want to focus on the people.
Yeah, the people and all the parties.
You want people to be involved, the community. Everybody focuses on the community, but it's only one government that is in charge. So they have to collectively collaborate on what their agenda is to focus advancement for people. The personal advancements and the vendettas aren't helping anything. They are deteriorating what is intended to benefit the people. So that's where I would start. I would start with focusing on my duty. What is my duty as an elected official? It's to serve. What is the agenda? To benefit. That's what service is. You benefit the people who voted for you and the people who didn't vote for you, because that's what government does. So if I were to become upset, I still would have to fulfill my duties. I may go to the bathroom and push up my mouth, but my duty is to serve.
So, yes.
For the time elected. People first. Personal gratification, back burner. It has no place.
So for someone to be absent from cabinet for 2 months, that's a no-no. That's not exemplary of service, is it?
No, it does not.
Okay.
It would not meet that category. Okay. Unless there was illness.
Okay.
If there was illness, then who am I to say that? But if I am an elected official that is to serve, if I have something that I feel should be addressed, there are times and places for that to be addressed. But I do not see a reason for not fulfilling your duty.
But should there be some penalty or some penal legislation that dictates if an elected representative refuses to attend the cabinet, there should be some fallback and some reprimand in some form, don't you think?
Well, it may not look as though there is a reprimand, but the mere fact that that behavior is being addressed, there would be consequences for that result, because I'm listening and I'm hearing voters express their dissatisfaction about what is going on. So, I mean, we know that there are several years before the election, but people are watching. And it depends on how far it's deteriorated, whether or not it can be repaired.
Okay. Thank you for your input, your sound intervention. And
it's my pleasure.
Good to hear from you, my Straight Talk family. And just for information that the Deputy Prime Minister, we understand that his name was included in a statement of the incident at Last Lap that involved his colleague Lindsey Grant, and he has demanded that his name be withdrawn from the statement. I don't know if the cabinet or any minister or even the commissioner of police can and should demand that a police woman or police officer, period, how to write that statement, especially if it is accurate. And that, I understand, is the grounds of the matter. And for that reason, he has not gone to the cabinet and pledged not to go to the cabinet until his name is removed from that particular statement. So let's see what's happened. Time will tell. My Straight Talk family. Caller, I want to thank you for holding your line. Hello, caller.
Mr. Patches, greetings.
Greetings, my dear brother.
And how are you, man?
I am peaceful. Yourself?
I'm very, very good listening to your interested topics as usual.
Thank you.
I don't see why people must criticize you when you're the one who bring topics to educate people. Because if you didn't play them sound bites, who would have known those sound bites existed? Mr. Patches, whenever conflict arises between material and spiritual values, the conscience plays an important role. And anyone who suffers from a guilty conscience is never free from the problem until he makes peace with his conscience. Mr. Patches, what you're saying tonight is good reasoning. Unity is about reasoning. Because you're going to trash up, but you must focus to the direction. And the Deputy Prime Minister saying from Cabinet is an insult to the country. He is bigger than the country. And he must also remember with a collision from NLP, and he must quote that when he's speaking about the past government runnings concerning PAM. Let him know the people know what the PAM NLP administration. Yes, PAM was the dominant factor. Power there. Maybe that's now they want to feed, they must be the dominant factor. There's no dominant factor in unity. You got to reform yourself. As the Bible says, you must be born again. You can't feel yourself stuck up concerning unity. It doesn't work like that. It's a spiritual way of life. And we are living in spiritual times. Each of us got to get our act together. From the Deputy Prime Minister, from the Prime Minister, come right down, because all of us have to face our judgment. So, we know the country is at stake. If we ain't on a country, what we gonna govern? We had lockdown. We deal with ourselves. We see the responsibility we had amongst ourselves. What are we going to say? We ain't learn anything? They should carry the issues to cabinet. That's why people elected a unity administration, to reform constitution. This seat business is getting the head, Sean also have to remember, the Deputy Prime Minister also have to remember, there was a commission inquiry against the PAM NRP administration. Even though some may say it's for politics because it's politics, so I don't see why some may say it's politics, but some of the revelation in vibes that come out from that inquiry, they were shameful. A lot of conflict of interest. So he cannot say PAM also have a clean slate. No. So now the country is trying to regain itself from the party elitist business that we've been through the past years. Come on. Join the banner now. What you want to say from since he swear it. The unity vibes in him. He's just sticking to his PAM agenda. Well, he must think like that. That's not good. PAM ain't more than the country. Come on. PAM is who helped bring the constitution into being, but they also said the motto is country about self. So if country about that, you must talk about unity. And to son, yeah, you wasn't fellowship with other or your colleagues. Now you're in the federal seat. Put pen to paper and put a bill and discuss something in Parliament. Act mature.
Hello.
You know, because, hello.
Can I interrupt you for a moment? I've heard you advance the view of reforming the Constitution, and right now, you
slip a little bit here. Could you be a little more?
You made mention of constitutional reform. Those are my words. I'm paraphrasing here, right? And when you look at the current makeup, the current disposition in the Parliament, where the government in office has 9 seats. Am I correct? Yeah, 9 seats, right?
Yeah.
Which means they have the 2/3 majority within the Parliament to amend or reform the Constitution, to use your words. Shouldn't that be a focus and sort things out and rather than having these back and fro in time to come and now?
Yeah, between you, but the point that you're making, as I heard your last words, concerning towards majority, not a bit. And that's why the Deputy Prime Minister, all of them, should put their mind on the agenda that the people want to see happen. Because when you move on from there, you can look back and see what you have done for the people. Why you going to look back and say what you have done for Pam? Come on. And that's why the other day, when the question was raised concerning the raise of pay for workers, he had to answer like that. Because from you not going to cabinet, you ain't going to get the substance of what's going on in the country. So it ain't that you shedding a bad light on the Prime Minister. You shedding a bad light on your own self, because you have a vital position that you must see. You should always hold responsibility with, Mr. Patchett. I still see reconciliation. I see nothing gone away. It's just that the members of the public more see the heart of man and how they will do things. Because remember, his memoir, his memoir, because his movements in the early ancient days, he changed up things. He decided to build a Babel Tower. Remember, everybody was living in unity. The same elitist, and he want to change up the ways of God. Don't tell me these guys who want to change up the ways of the people. They want a unity. They want party politics in this new modern age. Mr. Patrick, you continue to be strong and continue to bring the topics to the floor. Unity is a template. The book, the Bible shows that, because the people were living in unity before Nimrod make the world change up. That's why we have different languages speaking in the world. So that movement with Babel Tower. So no, we don't see that when we read the Bible, we know there's a template. And we live it for the past 7 years with unification. What are we going to do? Fool ourselves? Mr. Patrick, you be strong. Have a good weekend.
Have a good weekend as well, my dear brother. And you're so correct. The dereliction of duty is a serious and damaging one, and could lead to subsequent dismissal by the electorate, as there's nothing in legislation or regulations that can do that before that. The opinion, and that opinion has come out of the fact that there is an obvious and intentional and or conscious failure to do one's duty. The Deputy Prime Minister has confessed that for the past 2 months he has willfully abandoned his collective seat of executive power, and that violates the Constitution that establishes a government composed of 3 branches: the executive, the legislative, and the judiciary. Some say judicial. But after all, a cabinet meeting is so critical to the functioning of any government, and it's one of the rare occasions that the entire cabinet is in the same place and at the same time. Furthermore, the Constitution mandates under Section 53, subsection 1, that there shall be for St. Christopher and Nevis a cabinet of ministers, which shall consist of the Prime Minister and the other ministers. The Constitution also outlines the functions of the cabinet. Patches, a mentally deranged man, had a scene down the Pelican Mall, reads this email, with all kinds of bad words. I was there with many others in the line to enter the bank, being fearful that he was going to attack someone, how he was behaving. At one point, he ran at someone screaming, using the bad words to the top of his voice. I don't know who interfered with him, but he mentioned something about Timothy. But here are some of the comments the people in line were saying about him. He does be on the radio every morning calling himself a pastor, a spiritual man, a Bible man, a man of God, and using all them bad words. Another person said, well, only now I really believe he's crazy. One woman said, but Sean got him as his advisor. He could advise anybody, but maybe he and Sean crazy alike. Patches, boy, I laugh to myself. Read this email. Well, boy, Sean, you really fooled me. Reads this other email. You're not as bright as I thought. You mean to say that you've gone on the regional narrative program to say that you have not attended cabinet meetings for 2 months? I really used to hear Dwyer and Liburd say this thing long time ago, but I dismissed it as nonsense, knowing who those two corrupt characters are. But then having heard from your own mouth, I concluded that you have been feeding these two political prostitutes with government secret information, and you're wrong, Sean. Remember what you sow, you will reap. You could become Prime Minister. Concluded, you could become Prime Minister, rubbish, reads that email. This other email reads, just imagine Sean had the gall to say on radio that PAM convention was better than PLPs, because people were talking about PAM convention for the whole week. He despised PLP convention by saying that was convention too. Well, boy, Sean, you really don't know what is going on around you. Let me enlighten you. The people were saying that PAM convention reminded them of the days when women used to curse and abuse one another in Irish tongue, and that is what people was talking about for the week, as they expressed their anger with you, Mark and Simmons. On the other hand, PLP convention was excellent, outstanding, par excellence. Well, Sean, I sympathize with you, because if you don't know what is going on in your ministry, I don't expect you to know what people outside are saying about you. Shame, 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 reads this email. Much talk and confusion about a third term of service of the Prime Ministership of the government of St. Kitts and Nevis after the next election. What if the unity construct loses at the polls? What then? Reads this other email. And this final email I'll read before I go back to the lines. A pleasant good night, Honorable Patches Liburd. It is quite obvious that the Honorable Sean Richards is saying he is not ready for the job of Deputy Prime Minister, and most definitely not the future Prime Minister. He's actually saying, I can't do this. He is a disgrace to our Federation. God bless the Honorable Dr. Harris and his cabinet. Let's go back to the lines. Caller, I want to thank you for holding. You are live.
Pleasant good evening, Patches. Marsha here.
How are you, Marsha?
How are you tonight?
Oh, I'm peaceful. Yourself?
I'm wonderful. I'm here. Giving God thanks. First, I want to say to my Prime Minister get well. He have a little cold and a little sore throat. I'm asking God to heal him, give him instant healing in due time. Okay, Patrice, with your topic, I just want to say one thing. With your topic tonight, right? If one person do not show up to work, they can lose a job, they can put on suspension, because if you are doing a work and you're in job for 2 months, just saying 3 months, that means that's neglect of duty. And neglect of duty comes with a lot of things. You can get, as I said, you can get fire forthwith, or you can put on certain leaves. Anyhow, what I really want to say tonight, though, I was trying to get in on Monday night, but I was unsuccessful because of the lot of calls. I want to say that our convention was, oh my God, a convention out of this world. It was classy. Class is class. And when it comes to my Prime Minister, Dr. Timothy Harris, nobody cannot walk in his footsteps. Nobody cannot walk in his footsteps because he's a classy man. You understand? And with all his rant and rave, I'm grateful. I grew up with my grandmother because my mother was living overseas. And I used to always hear my grandmother say, ungratefulness was one with craft. What's one with craft? And I want to say tonight, Dr. Harris is a godsend. And he is the best Prime Minister I used to say in St. Kitts and Nevis, but he is the best Prime Minister in the entire world, a step up a notch, because none could compare with my Prime Minister, Dr. Harris. And all the ranting and waiting and the going on with all kind of thing, he's holding his composure and he's staying calm. He's not a man who like confusion. I like to go on and go on and go on. Dr. Harris is a decent, respectable man. He have a golden heart, as my sister does say. He's a Prime Minister with a golden heart. So when they're going on and they're going on and they're going on and they're going on and they're going on, he's just ignoring the noise, and he is doing what he called here to do. He's working on behalf of the people. And you know what amazed me, Patrice? In this pandemic, I'm very passionate about this now. This pandemic, before they talk about a betterment for the people in going forward, what they're going to do? They want to go back to the polls. They want this, they want that. They want this and they want that. Look after your people. The Prime Minister is just here. It's gone 2 years. From the June gonna make 2 years. And look at how they're going on. And Labour people is there. Laughing at them. They're not laughing at my Prime Minister, you know. They're laughing at Labour people, laughing at them. And they're waiting. Labour people waiting. Like when you have bone scraping out your plate, when you finish eating out your plate, they're waiting. They're waiting. But time will tell. And the best man will win. And I know the Lord of Habao watching my Prime Minister, because everywhere Tim went, he was doing good. I don't care who wants to abuse me tomorrow morning. I don't care who wants to abuse me on Facebook. I don't take on people like a white man. I just see people in the fake profile abuse me, and I don't have time for those kind of things. I don't have time. I have time to pray for my family and to pray for the best Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis. I don't have time for the back and forth and abusing. There's lots of Facebook, there's lots of fake profiles, and it's fake this and fake that coming on, abusing and going on and all kind of stuff. I don't have time with those kind of things. Then there are long time things, using out of style. This is time now for we to be innovative, look, see what we can do. See what we can do to help our country. See what we can do to help our country. Carla earlier was saying that to have meeting and those kind of things. They don't want a meeting, because when people want power, not each of meeting could solve the problem. They want power. And all what's in the eyes is power. That's all they want. They could see power. That's all they want. So neither meeting, nothing gonna stop nothing. Just let the Prime Minister know that and I want to tell you all to know that I am orange. I am not orange and I'm not going to sell out my color. I love orange. And I'm a PLP to the bone. Patrice, you have a good night when you get home safe. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. Tomorrow morning, 5 o'clock, the donkey will bring on the radio. Nobody have no time with those kind of things. Nobody has studied them. They're going to stop there and they're going to get blood pressure. Patrice, you get home safe. Prime Minister, Dr. Timothy Harris, you get well. Take your time out and rest. Sickness is there for everybody. The cold is there for everybody. Fever is there for everybody. Sore throat is there for everybody. And it's just the cold and a little sore throat. So he take time out and rest himself and get healed properly. Patrice, you have a very nice and you get home safe as usual. And God bless you. And God bless Prime Minister Dr. Timothy Harris. Good night.
Good night, my dear. God bless you as well. You know, it is said that politics has its own morality. And I submitted earlier. I'll submit one more time. But as we try to find a resolution to the issues being debated in the public domain, we ought to remember, my Straight Dog family, that unity as a team will only be strong as its weakest member. Caller, I want to thank you for holding you alive. Hello, caller.
Hello.
Yes, you're live.
I'm back. Something wrong with the line, man. I'm back.
Yeah, we're hearing
you
you
hear
loud.
me?
Yes, we're hearing you loud and clear. Go ahead.
Yes. No, I come back. Mr. Liburd, a couple Labour people was on the pasture at the convention. When they see me, they call me. You ain't a PAM. It's unity. I asked them what they were doing there. Mr. Liburd, I could do anything. I can't be ungrateful. It's Timothy look out for me, not them. So I am looking out for him. If not third Timothy there, that's an insult. Portfolio don't make a minister. People do. And asking why Sean went on so. Sean is a scholar, not me, waiting for Prime Minister. And when the Prime Minister was talking, there was grumbling and going on. If they don't want him, why come? Ask him if he can take to term. He has his voters, and who don't want him will get the sweetness. When they hear about money, they was jumping up and saying the Prime Minister and his brother building and buying. They're working hard, nothing for them. There was nobody downfall. Stop abusing. Mr. Liburd joined the Puppy Show Club with culture, manners, rock politics. Get home safely. Mid abusing was on Mr. Liburd, the lady tell you about.
Okay. Thank you very much. Alice in Wonderland. I go straight back to the lines. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller. It's 9 before 10 o'clock. Oh, how the time flies. As we wind down tonight's programming, we focus on the dereliction of duty, is what I call it. And many people with whom I have spoken have expressed their disappointment with the ongoing drama and political posturing in St. Kitts and Nevis. Caller, you're live.
Good night, my dear beloved brother. Good night.
How are you, my dear sister?
I'm good.
Always
and
good to
how are
hear you. I am peaceful. Always good to hear you.
Okay. What I call tonight is to talk about a deputy prime minister behaving like a junior school child, a child in kindergarten who ain't got no understanding, no knowledge. And what I would like you to do for me is to please play back the tape before you left. Richard, now what he said. Can't make it that one day, but I hear it on the street. People talking about it. He ain't getting no good feedback. I don't know why he don't read himself. And I'm glad for culture. I'm glad for Mr. Politics. I'm glad for Miss... Lord, what did you tell me the name? She used to call herself Miss Unity.
Jackie. Jacqueline.
Jackie.
Yes.
Yeah, man. Man, this program can't do without them. I just listen for them. Culture and politics are your good night. Now, I don't affiliate. This deputy prime minister, all he talking about is one prime minister, and one prime minister. But he does not have the quality. He does not have the behavior. He needs training. You know that they don't have training for school children. And when you have a job, you put people on training so they can perform. He in politics alone and still need training. He's not ready yet. Please, I'm going off his word because I want to hear the tape before you go. You have a safe journey home and have a good night.
Have a good night as well, my dear sister. My sister from another mother. As we wind down tonight's programming, I'll take a few more calls. Yes, I'll play that sound bite for you. I promise I'll do that before I leave. Caller, I'm going to guide you by the rules of brevity. You're live. Hello, caller. Are you there, caller? Okay, we seem to have missed that call. Let's see if we can go back to the lines. And as we wind down, we focus my Straight Talk family on the dereliction of duty. I'm going to take this call. Call you live. Hello, caller. Are you there, caller? Okay, let's see what's happening here. We focus on the dereliction of duty, my Straight Dog family, and we as well looked at the no show at cabinet by the Deputy Prime Minister. We have been requested, and as I await this other caller. Caller, you live. Hello, caller. Okay, here's what I think. I'm having a little difficulty here with this line. I'll get it sorted out, my Stray Dog family. I promise you I'll take a few more calls before I leave, but let me get this line sorted out first. But from the start of the program, for those who may have joined us belatedly, we continue to look at the political developments in St. Kitts and Nevis and the attempts by other leaders in the Team Unity Coalition to brand PLP as its weakest link. But these leaders, I submit, ignore the reality that if one part of Team Unity is weak, then it endangers the integrity, the quality, and, of course, the effectiveness of the whole concept or Team Unity. My Straight Talk family, the trust amongst the Team Unity members was broken before the appointment of the very first Team Unity cabinet. Way back in 2015, although many just refer to the 2020 elections and what happened that particular Sunday. But hear this, my Straight Dog family. The people of this country may not be aware, just may not be aware that they may not be aware that this particular cabinet member demanded that he got this ministry that had responsibility for the CBI. But let's see if I can take this some more calls. I will get that in my wrap. Caller, you are live.
That is it. Yes. Do you know that Mr. Du launching his a candidate for election on Sunday?
I heard so through the grapevine. I don't know how accurate that information is, though.
Yes, okay. That's what he said. He launching his a candidate on Sunday. But Charles Luther is very careful. Be very careful because we don't want back labor in government. Okay. Thank you. Good night. Safe drive home.
Thank you for your intervention, and we are happy that we'll get a few more calls in before we wrap for tonight. I had a little glitch, so those who are trying to get in, please do so quickly. Caller, you are live. Hello, caller.
Yes, Patrick. Now I see why you asked the question the other day. Why is it the high school hasn't started yet? But we never know that the person responsible for doing the work, the portfolio that you had, is because they never go in parliament for 2 months. So they didn't care nothing about the children's future. All they care about is self. I want to know when I'm going to get my position. He disappointed the whole of Sandy Point. Everybody in Sandy Point, they like him because he moved the lady who was living down there, and she ignored Sandy Point people, and they teach her a lesson, and they put him in. And now he disrespecting them, and they're going to do him the same thing. Patrice, have a good night. Time short. Everybody want to get in. Good night, Marge.
Have a good night as well, my dear brother. I'll take a few more calls. Caller, I'm going to give you 10 seconds. I'm running out of time. You're live.
I think the lady with the star is me good villager.
Yeah, okay.
And I want to bring the Prime Minister with her. Because she's going to be one of our Star Wars campaign in constituency number 3.
Okay.
To encourage the young people.
Okay. Thanks for your input.
All right, then, Patrick. You have a wonderful night. May God bless the Federation again.
Thank you. Let's go back to the lines. I'll take another call. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
My bunny, good night.
My bunny. My bunny went over.
Yes, me call before, man, but me not get in at all. I know the time for start.
I'm happy.
Not talk real politics tonight.
I'm going to give you 1 minute. 1 minute since you got in late.
Yeah, neglecting of duty. Really and truly, you see, if you got a personal problem, one personal problem, you're not supposed to put on personal problem in front of country. You put country first. And in a cabinet, how you deal with problems. Now, me hear my sister calling on my radio station, Win FM, and me love my sister, and me hate for go against my sister. But you see, the whole problem, Patches, is that if one team do well, the team get the credit. If the team do bad, the coach get the problem.
Sure.
Now, not every country, are the leader. How you really talk about? Are we no better? Are we know that our whole government put together? But the whole point about it, you check America. The leader, every country, are the leader you're going to hear about because they are there where the responsibility lies. You see? So, but Patrice, let me tell you, I'm going to try get in early Monday because I want to talk some real politics. Because me hear some talking and it sound good, yeah? It sound good, but when you really start to do some scrutinizing, you recognize that the talk doesn't really make no sense. But it sound good. You know, it sound good. So Monday, they go try get the lines Those property. Let me say good night to Brady too. Try to get in line. So I'm on to talk some real politics Monday. Who vex? All right, Patches.
Have a good weekend, my brother. God's spare. We'll connect on Monday.
Okay.
Okay. My Straight Talk family, as we wind down, I'll perhaps take my final call for tonight. I'll take this and make this my final call for tonight. Caller, you're live. I'm going to give you 30 seconds. I'm afraid.
Patches.
Jam down. You're bringing the call.
Patches, good night.
Good night, my brother.
I want to send a clarion call to petition that they must understand that the future of this country lies in all of us hands. So when we got a set of man trying to upset people's life in this country, they must understand where they're going and be focused. Because no more politician fooling jam down. Patrick, you have a good night.
Thank you, Jam down. I'm risk taking this final call. Caller, can you use 30 seconds?
Hi, Patrick.
Yes, my dear.
Hello?
Yes, you're live. You're live, caller.
Hello?
Yes, you're live.
Patrick.
Yes, you are live.
Yeah, good night. I ain't called to talk no politics. I just want to say a happy birthday. I know he's late. I was trying to call him earlier today. Cautious in St. Thomas. I hope he had a good day. On behalf of every Baptist family, I hope he had a wonderful day today.
Oh, Cautious?
I'm calling from New York, okay? Cautious, yes.
Hasn't he died?
Today's his birthday. But, well, tonight I tried to call him, but I couldn't get it. So I hope he's listening or somebody will tell him that to get a greeting, okay?
Okay. Thanks for your input. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, okay, good.
That's the way we're going to end it. I'm almost certain that Horace Watley, a.k.a. Cautious, has in fact gone to be great beyond. I was just thinking today, I haven't heard of his funeral services. But that's the way we're going to end it, my Straight Dog family. And I'm going to ask the question before I leave, because quite a lot has been said about the dereliction of duty. And I promise I had my last call, but caller, if you turn your radio down, caller, and if you agree, you can say what you have to say in 30 seconds, on the line 30 seconds, then we go live.
Good evening, everybody out there in Radio Land.
Did you hear me?
Good evening. Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing you. I'm out of time, but I'm going to give you 30 seconds.
Unfortunately, we're out of time, Mr. Ambassador. I just want to personally reaffirm my love for you personally.
Thank you.
And my profound appreciation for the substantial contributions that you have made towards nation building. I'm sorry I did not get in until now. But so as not to disrespect your program, being the last caller, I would reserve what I have to say until Monday. But I would end with a biblical quotation, and I know my 30 seconds are up. Thanks again for your continuing generosity. The quote: now that we see what's happening, now that we have been warned time and time again against allowing anything to encroach on the best thing that this country here has ever seen politically in its political life, it has fallen apart. the truth is out. And all I have to say is he that being often reproved, biblically speaking, this is what the Bible said, and hardness his neck shall be suddenly destroyed, and that without remedy. This is prophecy. We are going to see the biggest transition this country has ever witnessed, because I am positive that the voting bloc of this populace will show in just a minute, and we are in election mode, that this confusion is anything but what the nation needs in these trying times. My friend, Mr. Ambassador, you get home safely. You continue looking forward, as you always have been. But I give you this piece of sound advice. As for you, get your house in order, because in just a minute, the whole edifice of this failed government is going to come crumbling down. Good evening, folks.
Good evening, my brother. And that's the way we're going to end it, my Straight Talk family, with that prophecy that the whole house will come crumbling down. And perhaps many will come to that conclusion, especially in the context of what we have discussed tonight, the dereliction of duty. And the questioning of the wisdom and timing of the actions of this cabinet member and deputy prime minister. When the Federation is still recovering from the shock of COVID-19 and facing a definite socio-economic fallout from the war being fought in Ukraine. Our gas prices are gone up already. We soon have difficulty, it is predicted, with food, because that's in Europe, Ukraine and other countries around are the food basket of Europe. They do a lot of wheat and other staples. Sea trade disruption will come that will negatively impact the land distribution of food, because the supply chain is indelibly linked by land, sea, and air. So we ask the question, why are these leaders trying to destabilize the country and the government in which the people elected them to serve? This is a question that is being posed by right-thinking citizens of the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. Because, lo and behold, the Deputy Prime Minister yesterday revealed on regional media that for 2 months he has not attended a cabinet meeting or meetings of cabinet. And we always provide the facts, the information. We don't fabricate on Straight Talk.
My knowledge, because I personally have not been to cabinet in about 2 months now, but that is a totally different issue. It is a principal position as to why I have not been attending cabinet, and perhaps it will take a totally different issue and interview to go through that particular issue. It is something I, to date, for different reasons, I have not discussed within the public domain, because I have had some meetings in which I have basically agreed to a particular resolution on this matter. Unfortunately, the matter hasn't been resolved, and so I have not been going to cabinet.
You've been out of cabinet for the last 2 months in some sort of a protest. It's a protest action.
Yes, I have been.
Okay. So
yes, it is.
So yes, my Street Talk family. Deputy Prime Minister Richards also disclosed in this interview on the narrative with Callista Farrier that his absence from the cabinet is not related to the concerns with the Prime Minister that he has publicly raised before my Street Talk family. And these are his words as well.
To the current barrage of concerns that the coalition has with the Prime Minister?
I wouldn't say that it is related to the barrage of concerns that the coalition currently has with the Prime Minister, but it is a matter that I stand on a principle relative to. It is a matter which involves my name. It is a matter which involves matter. I have said that the only person who really can defend my name is myself, and until I feel like my name has been cleared relative to a particular issue, that is the stance that I have taken.
And many ask about the wisdom of this stance, especially since he has, like other ministers, taken an oath of office, clearly affirming his allegiance to the Constitution and loyalty to his country.
I, Sean Kenneth Richards.
I, Sean Kenneth Richards.
Do swear.
Do swear.
That I will honor.
That I will honor.
Uphold.
Uphold.
And preserve the Constitution of St. Christopher and Nevis.
The Constitution of St. Christopher and Nevis.
Say that again. I'll take that bit again. Sorry. That I will honor.
That I will honor.
Uphold.
Uphold.
And preserve.
And preserve.
The Constitution of St. Christopher and Nevis.
The Constitution of St. Christopher and Nevis.
And the law.
And the law.
That I will conscientiously.
That I will conscientiously.
Impartially.
Impartially.
And to the best of my ability.
And to the best of my ability.
Discharge my duties.
Discharge my duties.
As Deputy Prime Minister.
As Deputy Prime Minister.
And do right.
And do right.
To all manner of people.
To all manner of people.
Without fear or favor.
Without fear or favor.
Affection or ill will.
Affection or ill will.
Thank you.
So help me God.
That's where we're going to end it. You've heard all of your interventions. Some of you and most of us are embarrassed. Someone suggested we remove servanthood and self-aggrandization. Remove self and put people first and focus. And consider your duty to serve and the people only benefit. We've heard that the crisis, or we are at crisis point. Some say it's reconcilable, others say not. But some ask, and one particular Raskalunji asks for national dialogue, something we should consider highly. And my dear brother suggested that it's all about good governance. And the Deputy Prime Minister's absence is an insult to our country. So why has the Deputy Prime Minister not gone to the Cabinet for the last 2 months? It's a question we must still continue to ask. Is that a good example being set by someone who is aspiring to lead our federation? Is the Deputy Prime Minister's no-show in cabinet related to the criminal charges brought by the police against his party deputy leader, Lindsey Grant? Should the people detest this dereliction of duty? The country must be told the truth, even though it hurts at times. Have yourselves a wonderful weekend, my Straight Talk family. And until we connect on Monday for another edition of Straight Talk, be good to yourselves and to all whom you meet. Remember that whatever your mind conceive, that you will achieve. But first of all, you gotta believe. So when you wake in the morning, thank God for the morning light. Thank Him for taking you through the night, my Straight Talk family. And I thank God as well for taking us through this night and for guiding our conversation tonight. And as always, I want to thank you, the callers. At times our quality of the call was not up to standard. We apologize for that. But I want to thank those who even tried to get in and could not. I thank the emailers, those who listened on social media. Remember, you are the ones who make Straight Talk. And for that, I say a big, big thank you. Until we connect on Monday, keep moving on, my Straight Talk family. Bye-bye. Until we connect on Monday.
Morning, I thank God for the morning.